Hello all, welcome back to the 5 Minute Tech channel. Today we'll be talking about the .NET developer core developers learning path and what all things that you should be learning or be aware of when you're a .NET core developer. So we'll be going through the entire learning path for a .NET core developer, starting with the fundamentals and all other skills that is probably essential for a developer to use. So we'll go through a facet of all those the jargons or the technology stacks which is required for a mid-level .NET developer to be aware of. To start with, we have fundamentals. So a .NET core developer should have a good understanding of the object-oriented programming, that is OOPS concepts, followed by some of the general skills which we acquire when code and all those things. Example is Git. We will have HTTPS protocol. We have to understand how it works. The CLI commands which can help in running in Visual Code, and the basic data structures and algorithms. Following which, a basic knowledge of C# as a programming language and the .NET as a framework is essential. And also the .NET internals will help in understanding the basics of how the .NET framework works. Also, there are some basics of database fundamentals that should be known, which includes the designing and the SQL syntax. It involves other objects like stored procedure, constraints, and triggers. And also it involves the data manipulation language and the DDL, data definition language, and also the DBMS basics. Apart from this, the developer should also be aware of some solid principles which will be required while implementing the logic, which includes your single responsibility principle, OCP, LSP, ISP, and DIP. So these are some basic principles that one should be aware of. Other than this, some of the basic .NET Core areas are understanding MVC, REST, how Razor pages work, what are the middlewares and how they are used. So that is something which should be aware of. Filters and attributes, application settings and configuration, authentication and authorization. There are other areas like ORM, which a developer should understand as to how will he pass on the data which is there in the C# objects to the database. That can be accomplished through different frameworks like Entity Framework Core. We have Dapper and we have NHibernate. The Entity Core, other than this, there is another concept of dependency injection that is profusely used, and it involves two parts. One is DI containers and the lifecycle. DI containers could be something which you inject through using a third-party containers like Ninject, Castle Windsor, Simple Injector, or you can use the MS extensions along with dependency injection. There are other life cycles. The life cycles, when you have the dependency injection, you have to define the kind of life cycle, which is scope, transient, and singleton. There are other areas like in database, we have different kinds of database that can be used in depending on the project. It is relational database, then it could be SQL Server, PostgreSQL, or MySQL. Cloud database, Azure, Cosmos DB, or Amazon DynamoDB. If you're using a search engines, you can use Elasticsearch and Solar. If you are preferring a NoSQL, then you will go probably for Redis, MongoDB, LightDB, and CouchDB, etc. And there is also concept of other areas like where API clients and the communication needs to be established. We use different protocols. We have REST protocol, gRPC, and GraphQL. REST itself, as you know, can be implemented through OData, or we have Sieve, whereas GraphQL could be utilized through Hot Chocolate or GraphQL.net. Also, while doing the functionality, you have to be aware of logging frameworks. The logging frameworks which are generally used is Serilog and Log Management System. While doing all these manipulations, you should be doing object mapping, and that can be accomplished through AutoMapper, Mapster, or something similar to that. Real-time communication can be done through your SignalR and WebSockets, and your scheduling can be done through your Hangfire, Quartz.net, and some other alternatives to that. One of the more important things which is catching up now is microservices. Now microservices has these components which you should be aware of, which is message broker, message bus API gateway, how you containerize it, orchestration, reverse proxy, service discovery. So all these technologies, especially message broker part, wherein you can use a Kafka or RabbitMQ along with your gateway, which you have designed probably using the Ocelot, and maybe a service discovery using a Consul or Eureka. And you have your applications hosted on Docker through orchestration of Kubernetes. So these are some of the microservice constructs. Along with that, a developer should be aware of testing. What are the different areas of testing that has to be done, because that also will be essentially involved in the development phase, especially the unit test, wherein you do three things: frameworks, mocking, and assertions. Frameworks involves which can be used is XUnit and unit MS test, whereas mocking could essentially be something like an MOQ, and assertions could be fluent assertions. So there are other alternatives as well. Apart from knowing these things, you should also be aware of some of the basic design patterns which will be essentially used every time you're coding. Some of these are CQRS, decorator, strategy builder pattern, singleton, and facade. These are most profusely used patterns. Along with this, there is a continuous integration and delivery which could be accomplished through these constructs, like there is Azure Pipeline or your Jenkins or TeamCity. GitHub Actions is also pretty popular. Apart from this, there are some other template engines which will help you design your client side. Helpful libraries that helps us in developing the code which we are doing, especially some things like Swashbuckle, or we have Mediator, Fluent Validation, and Benchmark.net. Other than that, we also have a lot of client-side libraries, especially with .NET. We have Blazor, that helps in developing the client-side application. So this was a brief representation of the path which could be followed by a .NET developer. I hope you liked the video. If you like the video, please hit like and subscribe to the 5-Minute channel. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.